This is every fight to make after UFC 307, Pereira versus Roundtree Jr. And I've got everyone lined up from Alex Pereira to Stephen Thompson of the headliner of the prelims. And I'll go through each and every one of them. All the winners on the main card, and Joaquin Buckley and Stephen Thompson. And yeah, some losers on the main card matchup as well in today's video. We'll start with the main event. Alex Pereira beat Khalil Roundtree. I'm getting roasted in my comment sections, but all you guys wouldn't take that risk of picking Khalil Roundtree. And he was goddamn close to beating Alex Pereira. He was winning on the scorecards. If that wasn't an elevation, I'm not saying Pereira would still, I think Pereira probably would still win. It wouldn't be a TKO. I think Khalil would survive a close decision. I feel like it would be a close decision where Pereira would get the edge. But I'm saying it, Utah. But then again, Alex did have the same thing. So you can't really make that an excuse. So Pereira did win the fight fair and square. And we move on from now. So that's the past. We're now looking to the future. I think his next opponent should be the winner. If I can move it. Yeah, there we go. The winner of Magomed Ankalaev and Alexander Rakic. That will happen in about 2 weeks' time. No, 2 weeks. 2 weeks and a half time from now. Nearly heading 2 weeks because it's Tyra versus Royval, Mikel Pereira versus Hernandez, and then we have UFC 308, Ilya versus Max. So we're getting there, and it's happening soon. And I think Ankalaev is going to win. And I think he deserves a title shot. Now, I know Dana White's saying, you have to look good, Ankalaev, or else you may not get it. Shut the fuck up. You're protecting Pereira. Listen, I'm Team Pereira when it comes to the Ankalaev fight. But shut up. That's protecting at that point. He deserves a title shot. It's funny to see Ankalaev not get it. But I kind of just want to see Pereira knock him the fuck out. So we can shut up this whole Ankalaev's ducking situation. So I think you should do this fight. Pereira versus Ankalaev, once and for all. Big matchup. March, April. Pereira is injured. I'm sure Ankalaev will have some sort of injury as well in the Rakic fight. So I think he is going to KO Rakic. So I think he might take a few leg kicks to the calf. He'll need some time off. Coming back around March, April. And it can be wherever the fuck Pereira wants it to be, because he's the champion. If Ankalaev wins and and let's say they do a rematch, then Ankalaev gets to choose where it is. But for now, Pereira's the champ, Ankalaev's the challenger. Do this fight. Makes sense. Maybe the UFC just wants to build it up in a way. Because it is kind of a dead fight, because Ankalaev is a fucking... He is actually fun in terms of watching. Sometimes he can be boring, but he can be fun, but... His personality, man, yeah, the build-up won't be fun, but the fight itself will be fun. So, make this fight happen. And if Rakic wins, Pereira gets to move up, because he's had 3 defenses now. I think he is personally the second greatest light heavyweight of all time. I think he surpasses DC at this point. You could say DC won the heavyweight belt, Pereira won the middleweight title, and the light heavyweight title, so... And honestly, Khalil's kind of like the Rumble Johnson of this situation. Gustafson's kind of like the Jamal Hill. And I don't know, it's pretty even. If Pereira gets another defense against Ankalaev, though, he surpassed DC as the second greatest light heavyweight. We move on to Khalil Roundtree, who lost but gave a good showing. Now, if he had just gotten obliterated by Pereira in round 1, like everyone was saying, I think he'd have to get fed a little bit to one of these guys, like the winner of Olberg Ozdemir. Risky. I'm giving him a good fight. Now, it isn't Jamal Hill, it isn't Yuri Prohaska, it isn't Israel Adesanya, it's not Jan Blachowicz. Those guys are looking to return soon. I think it's going to be Blachowicz, Hill, Israel Adesanya, Yuri Prohaska. Maybe it's Izzy Jan too. That actually would be pretty good for Izzy's legacy to get that one off. because that would actually help him in a way. And we do Yuri versus Hill. But I think the loser of Ankalaev Rakic should be for Roundtree. And I think it's going to be Rakic. I think Rakic is going to lose. And I think this is just self-explanatory. Rakic is number 5 currently. Ankalaev is number 2. Rakic will probably go down 1, I'd say, at most. Roundtree will probably move up to number 7 after some few results happen with Olberg and Ozdemir happening. I think Olberg wins, personally, but still. You can do this fight. Roundtree versus Rakic. Make it happen. I think Roundtree knocks him out cold in the first... No, I'm not going to... Fuck! I know I got clowned, for fuck's sakes. I think Roundtree would win, and I think a lot of people would agree with me here. I think Roundtree's, like... You can't look at the Jacoby fight again. He's improved. Look what he did against Pereira. So if you look at that pass where he got killed by Walker, you're dumb. And you're just a Pereira fucking glazer. So I think at this point, after the performance against Pereira, showing where the level he is at, especially in a 3-rounder, which I think this would be, and Rakic doesn't have the best cardio himself, I think Roundtree would convincingly beat him. But we'll see what happens. I'd go Roundtree, but this is a fight I want to see. This is what they should do. We'll see what happens. I think this is the fight. The loser of Ankalaev Rakic will be Rakic. And then Rakic, I think, will get KO'd. He'll be looking to return. What? It's 5-6 months from now. That's when Roundtree will be ready after he's healed up. So let's do this. Make it happen. We move on. Juliana Pena versus Kayla Harrison is the fight you do. No questions needed. What else will they do? Norma Dumont? Like, I don't see them doing that. Harrison won convincingly. Not really convincingly. I mean, it was a close fight against Vieira, but Pena, they all had close fights. Both took somewhat of damage. I think you should do this. Midway point of next year. Just don't make it the main event. Please, UFC. I can see them are so doing this as the main event of a pay-per-view. Please, UFC. Because Alex Pereira was almost pulling out against Roundtree, and they said they would have bumped up Pena Pennington to the main event. Fucking thank fuck Pereira for not pulling out. We would have had that shit as the main event after the card we just had. That would have been the worst pay-per-view in history. So thank fuck for Pereira not pulling out. Roundtree also was going to pull out as well. Thank fuck to those warriors, not these cowards. We'll get to you, Bautista. So do this fight. We move on. Jose Aldo got a win over Mario Bautista. Rounds 2 and 3, 1 against Mario Bautista. Everyone agrees. And his next opponent should be Dominic Cruz. What do I need to say here? Dominic Cruz of Jose Aldo is the fight you do next. They were never supposed to fight, but it's just a fight, a legend fight. What the hell is Cruz doing? What will Cruz just do? He's not going to fight Prospect. He's such a hard negotiating guy. Unless he was a champion. But other than that, when he wasn't a champion, he's just hard to negotiate. Oh, I want this fight, then I want to jump up the rankings. He is the bantamweight GOAT, in my opinion. I do believe that. But I just think that why not fight Aldo? Aldo, Cruz. Maybe they go back to Brazil for Pereira Ankalaev or something. We can have Pereira Ankalaev, Pantoja versus Tatsuro Taira if he passes Kara France, which I don't even know if he does. So if Pantoja defending the co-main, if he doesn't, Aldo Cruz can be the co-main. In Brazil, I want to see this fight. Let's do it. I think Aldo would destroy him at this point, but I want to see it still. What if Cruz wins? That'd be crazy. So, make the fight. Aldo versus Cruz. Loser goes home. Winner stays on and gets a title elimination bout if it's Aldo. We move on. Mario Bautista lost. He lost to Aldo. Robbery. Aldo. No, not robbery. It wasn't a robbery. Aldo won the fight 2-1. Easy win for Aldo. His next opponent should be Bautista. Henry Cejudo. You thought, bitch! That's not Cejudo at all. It's not Cejudo. You thought it was Cejudo, buddy. You thought it was Henry Cejudo. It's not Cejudo. Cejudo deserves a lot fucking better than your ass. Fucking pussy coward. His next opponent should be Montel Jackson. Bautista shouldn't just get a jump up. He won a robbery over Aldo, did that to a legend in Aldo. Shouldn't even fucking share the cage with him. Didn't even deserve the fight with him. Even when this was first announced, I was like, why the fuck are they doing this shit? No, Aldo should get a jump up. But they robbed him. So Bautista, you can't just get a jump up for winning a split decision over a legend in Aldo. You should be able to face a guy in Montel Jackson who just got a KO win over Devon Blackshear. Want to know what you did against Blackshear? Held up against the cage and arguably could have lost. And your clearest win recently is against Ricky Simone, who's just fallen off a cliff recently. I don't know what happened to him, but he just hasn't been looking good. So, make this fight happen. Bautista versus Jackson. And the reason Jackson's number 15 as well. Bautista will probably be number 10. Want to know why Jackson should get this fight and why Bautista will probably be tricked into it? Jackson KO'd Blackshear in 15 seconds. Bautista arguably lost to Blackshear on short notice. That's how he can get this fight. So yeah, we move on. Roman Dolidze beat Kevin Holland in a weird way, rib injury. It happens. I think Roman Dolidze's next opponent's quite easy to make. It's Paulo Costa. I mean, unless it's like the winner of Mikel Pereira Hernandez, and I think it's gonna be Mikel. They were supposed to fight before, but Mikel pulled out because they were friends. They didn't want to fight. Pussy move from Mikel, honestly. It's an easy win. And other than that, Cannonier's not going to look to return soon. Dolidze's probably going to look to return early next year. He took no damage. And he already beat Hermanson. So, Costa's the only fight to make. Costa's looking to return soon. And Costa, honestly, easy win for him, I think, against Dolidze. Fight down for once. Dolidze's earned it, I think. He beat Holland, Smith. I know it's weird wins that Holland won especially, but he's been getting these wins on these pay-per-views. Has been doing good. He deserves this kind of fight. Costa needs to look down for once, and I'd say you do Costa versus Dolidze. Good matchup. Can be on a main card of a pay-per-view any day, I think, at this point. And yeah, make this fight happen. Maybe on the Strickland Duplessis 2 card. That actually would be alright, you know. I think that's going to be in January or February. So I think you do it on that card. Because Dolidze, he's Strickland's training partner. I know none of these guys have nothing to do with Drickus, but for Strickland, you know, Dolidze's his training partner. And Costa's his last opponent. So that actually be pretty cool, I guess, at a press conference. Make it happen. We move on to Kevin, who lost, technically, due to rib injury. He'll come back around, I think well, Holland's active, and he will want to push through this fast. So I think we're going to see him around late April, early May, kind of when Roundtree returns. Because it is a rib injury. It was stopped, unlike he had to fight through it, so it was bad. His next opponent, I think, should be Nick Diaz. Now, let me say a few things here. I don't think this is his next opponent. I don't think it is. I'm just doing this because it looks better than Luke K. I think he should fight the winner of Diaz-Luke K. I think he should go back down to 170. I think Holland. I think he's better there. I think he should do that better. I think he's better there. He's been having success there. His last 2 wins are against Chiesa and Ponzinibbio at that weight class. His only loss is to JDM by split decision. Should have been unanimous. But still a competitive fight against JDM. At middleweight, he's not that good. Looks sloppier. He doesn't look as crisp. And I think Holland should go back to 170 against the winner of Luke Diaz, which I think will be at UFC 310. In the works. I bet you it's going to be official. So Luke Diaz on this card. Make it happen. That's what you should do. No, Luke Diaz winner versus Holland in that midway point of next year. I think it will be Luke Holland. I think Luke is going to beat Diaz. So I think it will be Luke Holland. But I just put Diaz's face here because it just looks more it just looks better in my opinion. So I think it should be not Pereira. What the fuck? I still have Pereira. Holland versus Luque. I put Diaz's face here because it's just, I don't know. Holland Diaz just sounds more fun to me. But I think Luque will win. So Holland Luque, make it happen. Now we move on to Joaquin Buckley. Well, I might make a road to the belt video for tomorrow. But I gotta post the fucking Tyra predictions. I still gotta relook at that. I gotta research that card. So busy with this content. I'm gonna go with Buckley beats Stephen Thompson, round 3 KO. I think his next opponent should be call it Usman. Good matchup. Could get the fight, honestly, but I feel like other guys deserve Usman more as well. I don't think it should be just Buckley getting the jump up. Some guy deserves Edwards. Some guys deserve Usman. Shafkat and Bilal will fight each other. I think you should just do this. Sean Brady, who's equally as deserving now. In terms of wins, I feel like Buckley's earned it more. Because he beat Luque, Ruzaboev. Recently, Wonder Boy he beat as well. But Brady destroyed Burns over a tough 5 rounds, easily. And he also easily beat Gastelum. And his only loss is to Bilal, who's the champ. So, I think this is what you do. I think this is exactly what you do. Buckley versus Buckley versus Brady. And then this matches up, I think, Edwards versus Jack Della Maddalena. And then Ian Gary against Usman. I think that's what you do. Gary versus Usman. Who I think Gary deserves it. And then you do Gary Usman. Edwards versus JDM. I think that's what you do. And then Shafkat Bilal. Then Buckley versus Brady. Covington can go fuck himself. I'm kind of done with Covington. And I was going to maybe do a Covington-Buckley fight, but who's willing to just accept a fight more nowadays and show up? It's Sean Brady. More consistent. I'm going to trust him here to show up more than Covington. And this is the fight you do. And last but not least, Wonder Boy Thompson, Stephen Thompson. Lost badly. Now, I don't mind the MVP fight. I don't mind it, yeah. But I feel like we shouldn't do that right now. Because I feel like you need 2 of the strikers. And MVP just got to the UFC. What if he loses? I think he would beat Wonder Boy. But what if he loses? So I'd say you do MVP Brian battle. They're doing Protest versus Brown already. So I think you should do Wonder Boy versus... I know this is random, but it's a good old vet fight. You know, I'd say stop giving Wonder Boy and Magny these contenders. Oh, I just said his name. Fuck. I mean, it's already revealed. It's Neil Magny. And I'd say it like I already revealed him. But I'd say you just do this fight. Veteran fight. Fight night main event any day, I think. South Carolina main event. Wonder Boy versus Magny. Or Thompson versus Magny. Or co-main event of fight night. Can also be like the headliner of a prelims of a pay-per-view. Anywhere you want. Apex main event it can be as well. I don't mind that at all. That's actually pretty solid. And it's a decent fight. Magny's range could give Wonder Boy issues. I don't think it would. Magny's not good. Magny does have good grappling, though. So, like, offensively. Good grappling. And Wonder Boy, I think, would win. But still, it's a good fight. Make it happen. That's it. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.